10 young men from Boy Scout Troop 103 hope to make spotting house numbers easier for rescue services in the township. Hi, and welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Tonight, Scott White catches up with these scouts and finds out why they're spending their free time this spring painting curbs. Also tonight, Judith Lebline talks about the Memorial Day Parade's bottom line with Councilman Tom Clark and David Zarnowski. And Amy Fisher speaks with Mary Ann Savino, selected by the New Jersey Council for Social Studies as the state's outstanding elementary school social studies teacher. This and more tonight, including a chance to hear R&B man Frankie Lee at Playhouse 22, and our Township Council review. But first, a quick rundown of next week's programming here on Channel 8. Monday morning at 10, Lenore Kulik shows how to stay on top with exercises for the upper body. That's on Look Great, Feel Great. On Stories from the Library at 10:30, Youth Services Librarian Kristen Lott shares stories about alligators with 4-year-olds. Appraising real estate is the topic of discussion on You and Your Money Tuesday evening at 7:30. Appraiser Zoran Kovcic joins host Paul Hansen and gives insider tips on how to better market your home. At 8 o'clock Tuesday night, the public hearing on the East Brunswick Public Schools budget will be televised live from the library. The final budget will be adopted by the Board of Education Thursday, April 18th. Visit a number of classes at the high school Wednesday night at 7:30 and see the new directions taken in teaching home economics. That's on Spotlight on Education. This month, 18 Growing Up in East Brunswick goes on location to the mall for this year's Prom Fashions. That's Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Thursday night at 7 and 8 o'clock, This Week in East Brunswick returns. And at 7:30, Anne Marie Anderson investigates eating disorders on Let's Talk Health. Check the Channel 8 Community Bulletin Board for Saturday's recast schedule and for community events and information.
Hi, I'm Scott White, and I'm here with John Swire, a member of Boy Scout Troop 103. John and his troop have spent most of this beautiful spring weekend volunteering time to the Township of East Brunswick. John, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done?
Well, Scott, myself and 9 other Boy Scouts from my troop have spent the weekend painting house numbers on the curbs of residences. We were supplied by the township with stencils and the supplies you see here, the paint, and what we did was we went around, we wiped the surface clean, and then we applied the paint with the stencil.
Why'd you decide to do this project?
Well, I'm a member of the rescue squad, and I know that our department, as well as the fire department and the police, have problems spotting house numbers at night. So we thought that this would be a good idea and something that would be a little bit more fun than the usual cleaning up a flitter.
Can you tell us a little bit how this is related to your Boy Scouting experiences?
This is part of an Eagle project, which is the final step in going on to become an Eagle Scout. That's the highest rank that you can attain. Doing the service project is the final part of the requirements to become an Eagle Scout.
How many other members of your troop were involved in this project?
Besides myself, there were 9 other members of the troop involved, and their names are Kenny Stahl, Eric Balint, Peter Yu, Phil Swire, my brother, Matt Molesky, Adam Gross, Mike Kleinman, and Dan Zalika.
Where did you get this idea from?
Well, I had known, actually, my friend Kenny Stahl had gone over to one of the Eagle workshops that they had, and he brought me back a book that had ideas in it of what type of Eagle project can be done. I was thinking about this, project beforehand, and then once he brought me the book and I saw that that was in there, I figured that would be a really good idea and something that the community could benefit from. So I took it from there and submitted the necessary paperwork and went with it.
And you had said something about the township supplying the materials. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I had contacted the township, specifically the Department of Public Works, over the summer, and I had worked with Mr. Gene Crummy. He's the assistant director. We had sat down, and over the past few months we had gone through all the logistics of this project, and he had provided me with all the necessary materials. He had bought the stencils for us, provided us with the paint you see here, the reflective beads that we put in the paint, the cones, the safety vests, the brushes, and anything else that I had needed.
About how many curbs did you end up painting?
Well, so far we painted about 450 houses.
Well, thanks for talking with us, John. It sounds like you've provided a wonderful service to our community. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Judith Lebline, Director of Recreation, Parks, and Community Services, and I'm here today with Councilman Dave Zarnowski and Councilman Tom Clark to tell you a little bit more about the Memorial Day Parade, but this is something that we desperately need for the Memorial Day Parade, and this is the fundraising campaign. Dave, tell me about how we decided, or the township decided, to get involved with fundraising for the parade.
Well, Judith, we felt that for two reasons. This year is a very special year for our veterans, both past veterans and new veterans for the Persian Gulf War. We felt it was fitting and necessary that we honor all veterans on this special day. And we felt the honoring of the veterans, coupled with the budget situation in the town, we wanted to have as big of a celebration as we were able to. However, we wanted to create as little a burden on the taxpayers of the town. Therefore, we're going out and soliciting local businesses and individuals who are interested in contributing to the parade.
So for practical matters, the budget actually includes a line item for the parade so
Yes,
that the department can run the parade and get everything we need to make it happen. And then the fundraising is going to do what? Reimburse that?
The fundraising will in effect really reimburse that line in the budget so we can give as minimal an impact on the tax rate for the individuals in the town. It was necessary that the township provide the money up front and then seek reimbursement to really offset those costs that are necessary to be expended before the parade takes place, such as the booking of bands and vendors and things like that. Money is required up front.
Right.
So that's our intent.
Okay, so the commitment was up front, and then the decision to do fundraising came as a way to reimburse that account. Is
That's
that
correct.
right? Okay.
Again, to minimize the effect, the burden on the taxpayers of the town, and to allow us to have as big a celebration as possible with the help of the business community.
Well, this year more than ever, I think it was important that we have a parade, certainly. And I think the spirit of patriotism that's out there ought to help us a little bit more in fundraising. I know last year was rather successful, but the two of you have set your sights pretty high this year. What are we trying to raise?
I believe we're trying to raise $20,000 from the business community and from individuals.
Okay. Tom, how are we going to do it? What's the game plan?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to ask people to contribute to the parade in a few different ways. They can contribute $1,500 to become a division sponsor. Now, as a division sponsor, you're basically paying for that part of the division, and you're going to represent that part in the parade. There'll be a banner with your name on it, and that will let the public know that you're sponsored that part of the parade.
Well, we have 6 divisions of the parade, so you have your work cut out for you.
Yeah, we sure do. But it's a job we're looking forward to.
How else can people get involved?
Well, they can contribute in other ways. You don't necessarily have to be a division sponsor. You can contribute any amount, of course, which you can afford. But we have a platinum sponsor, a gold, a silver, the $250 bronze. And, of course, anyone who contributes to the parade will get a commemorative poster thanking them for their support in the parade.
I know last year the posters were very well received, and when I went out in town shopping or to restaurants, people really proudly displayed those, and they were quite something. I understand that they'll be presented at council.
Yes,
is that right?
Will. That's correct.
In some sort of ceremony
We'll have a
fashion.
special presentation for the sponsors.
Okay. I've seen this year's poster, as you know, and the yellow ribbon motif is part of the scheme of the parade, and that also will be included. So I think people will be especially proud to put that in their store. Sure. No contribution is too small, is that right?
No, no contribution is too small. The $5 and $10, they add up, and it's all appreciated. It's really going to the whole meaning of the parade or what it's for.
Sure. Now, last year we had a big thermometer out front, and I hope that thermometer goes right through the ceiling. It was out at the Civic Center complex with good old Uncle Sam on it. I know that we've put in a work order to have that out there, and I understand the thermometer is starting to perk. Tom, you want to tell us, just from our first mailing, what's happening?
Well, we've gotten some people who've contributed already, which we very much appreciate. We have a $250 donation from Steve's Mobile Home, $250 from the Herbert Sand Company, Raymond L. Messerai, $250, Bush & Bush, $50, Treasure Island, $50, G&G Engineers, $100, and S&S Printing, $50. So we have
Great.
$1,000 in already.
The nice thing, too, is that those are some new names, so that's some new people added to our honor roll, certainly.
Yes, and due to the situation that occurred this past year, I feel that people will really be looking to contribute to this parade. It really has a meaning this year, this parade.
Great. Now, Dave, we had talked a little bit about why the council felt it was necessary to have the parade, and then there was a little bit of controversy about whether we should have a Memorial Day parade or if we should have a celebration much like the President said somewhere in July or perhaps 4th of July, and I understand there may be some other plans underway.
Yes, at Monday night's council meeting, we had approved an additional amount of money to be spent on the fireworks at the fairgrounds. We wanted them to be upgraded and to provide choreographed music to them, which would add an additional way of honoring our veterans, who most of them probably won't be home by Memorial Day. However, many of them will be home by 4th of July. So we feel that that's an added tribute. And I feel if we're going to learn from our mistakes of the past, and we want to make sure that these veterans that come home are truly indeed honored and deserve their rightful place in the township's history.
Now, I understand both of you are going to be reaching out to our merchants and our businesses in town personally, as well as they should be expecting a letter in the mail about the fundraising campaign. Would we also take in-kind services such as donations of things that we would use on the parade? I'm sure that must be a way that people can contribute as well.
Yes.
I know there's lots of things that are needed, right down for sodas for the people that are in the parade, and I know I'm open for anything.
People that would assist in marshaling for the parade,
Terrific.
reviewing and things like that, and judging.
Plenty of volunteers.
Yes.
So people that maybe are a little short on cash,
This is true.
they could get involved in other ways.
I know
Great.
last year's parade was very successful. Tom and I were able to march in it. We enjoyed it. And we're looking forward to this year's being just as good and even better.
Now this year you get your own cars. That's kind of exciting. We're looking for people with cars too, and
That's
people
right,
to drive.
that's right.
Well, you certainly have your work cut out for you, and we'll do everything we can to make sure it's a super parade, and you two will make sure that the bills get paid, and I think that's real honorable. We'll see you both at the parade, I know, and people that are interested in making a donation can call our offices at 390-6983.
Last week, Playhouse 22 converted its theater stage into a concert stage as it played host to a night of rhythm and blues with R&B vocalist Frankie Lee and his band. The Texas-born singer was once a member of the Ike and Tina Turner Revue in the 60s and has toured with the guitar great Albert Collins as well as on his own in Europe, Japan, and the U.S. For those of you who couldn't attend the show, here's a taste of what you missed.
See, I got to tell somebody. I just can't keep it to myself no longer. Oh, let me tell you something. Something I found out. you know about it. Got my mojo working. 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 I feel all right now, children. Do you feel all right? Do you feel all right? Let me hear you say yeah. 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 Yeah.
This was the first time that the Playhouse had offered a concert to the public. Board members were pleased by the turnout and expect to try more concerts in between their regular theater productions. For Playhouse information, you can call 254-3939.
Hi, I'm Amy Fisher, and today I'm at Central School with Marianne Savino, a 5th grade social studies teacher, and Bob Flood, the supervisor of social studies and media services. Welcome to both of you.
Hello.
Thank you, Amy.
Marianne, you just won a very prestigious award. You won the award for Outstanding Social Studies Teaching, given by the New Jersey Council on the Social Studies for the elementary category. And Bob is the person who nominated you. First of all, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bob, I'd just like to ask you, what made you nominate Marianne for this award?
The award had a number of items in their criteria that just fit Marianne to a T. Number one, they were looking for someone who had excitement about their teaching of social studies. They also were looking for someone who was doing something significant in the area of geography. Well, Marianne Savino is doing some good work with computers, doing a lot of exciting things in the classroom, and one of them is certainly in the area of geography. Last year, Marianne's class put together a map as part of a national contest, and in the 12th Congressional District, they won first place. This year, she not only won first place, but her map at the elementary level was #1 in the state of New Jersey, and that map is now in Washington, D.C., where it's being considered at the national level of the competition.
That is really exciting. So you have 2 congratulations coming to you. What did you have to do for that map contest?
Well, first of all, we all received the papers concerning the map, and then I asked the class if they wanted to participate, as I did last year. And I said, those children who are interested will all meet. We met at recess one day, and that's how it all started. We did research. The children came in early in the morning at 7:30, and we started working. They went to the library, took out books, and they divided the responsibilities of working on the map into different groups. Who was going to work on research? Who was going to work on working on landforms? Who was going to work on historical evidence? Who was going to work on the lettering and doing all the final pieces? And the children who did the coloring. We decided should just use one type of texture. We decided that we would use both magic marker and colored pencils and different things to enhance the map. And then we worked as a group to come up with the title. We used the title and we printed it on the computer, and then we reduced it and the children outlined it, and that's how we colored in our title. And we used last year's as a model, and we enhanced on it this year. And we saw what was wrong with last year's map, and that's how we enhanced on it this year. And the children gave up their time, and that's really, the credit really belongs to the kids. It's their map.
Well, a little guidance from you, I'm sure.
It's the kids' maps.
How do you feel about winning all these awards?
Well, you know, I feel very honored. I feel also that it's an honor and a privilege to represent East Brunswick as far as the state goes. I feel, too, that here in East Brunswick we're given an opportunity to try different things with support from everybody to try this or try a little bit of that. And I think that's it, the nurturing. And anything that's come along, we're willing to try, and I think that's where it comes from. And the kids get excited, and once the kids are excited, then we can move, because they're a part of it. They're the big piece of it.
Absolutely. Well, you and the children will be getting an award at the Board of Education meeting on April the 18th at the Administration Building at 8 p.m., so anybody who wants to see you in person could come out there then. And thanks again, and thank you, Bob, for nominating Marianne, and thanks for all your good work.
Good morning. I'm Alice Iacono, and I'm the Occupational Health and Safety Nurse for East Brunswick Township. Part of my job is to run an annual health fair, which you see going on in the bit behind me right now for East Brunswick Township. senior citizen residents in the Senior Citizen Center. The primary purpose of this is to have a health screening so that there are opportunities for seniors to have their health evaluated without cost. And so we have everything directed for senior citizens. You'll see a podiatrist, there's a blood work being done, hypertension screening, height and weight, glaucoma and cataract screening. We also have an oral cancer specialist here. Plus we have several display areas where people can pick up free tips on how to conserve energy, programs from St. Peter's Hospital, from Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, and many other services that are available free to the senior citizens.
The Township Council voted 3-2 Monday night to ban polystyrene in East Brunswick. The Council listened to recommendations both for and against the ban by members of the educational, environmental, and business communities. Among those speaking for the ban were representatives for the Middlesex County Environmental Coalition and from the Environmental Commission. The majority of speakers recommended against the ban and included professors from Rutgers University, a DEP official, a recycling education specialist for Middlesex County, and representatives from the State Chamber of Commerce, the New Jersey Food Council, and several area supermarket chains. The ordinance will take effect in 9 months and prohibits the use of polystyrene foam packaging by retail food establishments, including grocery stores and fast food restaurants. Reasons cited for authorizing the ban included concern about the space taken up in landfills by the foam, which is a less dense packaging material, and about the amount of litter in the township, desire to reduce the quantity of non-biodegradable waste in landfills serving East Brunswick, and to reduce the negative effects on marine life which occur when the material is dumped at sea, also factored into the Council's decision. Those speaking against the ban cautioned that selective bans discourage recycling and that the manufacturing and disposal of alternatives to polystyrene may in fact be more harmful to the environment. Specifically, paper cups coated with wax or plastic pose problems because of the chlorine used in manufacturing them and because they are not recyclable and do not degrade in landfills. Having heard the evidence, Councilman Clark, Hudak, and Sporn voted for the ban, and Councilman Oskowski and Zarnowski voted against it. The ordinance requires retail food vendors currently using polystyrene to replace it with biodegradable packaging. Packaging intended for raw foods is not included in the ban, and allowance was made for the possibility of some exemptions for hardship for a 1-year period. Also at the meeting, the Council voted to reduce the speed limit on Evergreen Boulevard, which runs through the club and Timber Hollow developments, to 25 miles per hour, and to prohibit parking on the street. Teresa Conte, president of the Timber Hollow Homeowners Association, urged the Council to adopt the ordinance prohibiting parking on this road, which has become busier since becoming a through street, in the interest of safety for children living in the development. For owners of dogs and cats who have delayed licensing their pets, the Council voted to amend an ordinance so that no late fee will be charged prior to August 31st this year. Also at the meeting, Mayor Jack Sinagra proclaimed April 7th through 13th the Week of the Young Child.
Whereas the Mayor and Council have established the Office for Youth to formulate, develop, and implement a comprehensive program of children's and youth social and recreational services. And whereas the Office for Youth will incorporate recreational and social services for township children and youths and their families. And whereas the Office of Youth will participate in the development and implementation of alcohol and drug abuse prevention and awareness programs for township children and youths and their families. Whereas the Office of Youth was established to enhance the quality of life for our children and youth, who constitute an integral part of our community. Whereas the children in our community are a major source of joy to their families and friends. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Jack Sinagra, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim the week of April 7th through 13th, 1991, as Week of the Young Child. In East Brunswick, and urge all citizens to join with me in expressing appreciation, and I've really gotten a whole bunch of appreciation in the last 3 weeks of our young children, to the young people in our community.